If you want to grow your personal brand for your business, content creatorship, venture you want to pursue, these are the things I'm going to be doing to grow my personal brand this year, and I hope I help you out as well. I'm Dom Jackson of Day by Day Media, and this is the 7-Day Scoop, my weekly show where I document the process of what I'm going through and provide the tips and things I've learned to help you. So if you have a venture you're trying to go through or starting a business, these are the things I've learned in the process of the past 7 days of what I'm trying to do next. So if that interests you, definitely subscribe. Story time. So one of the biggest problems that I face throughout this whole entrepreneur journey, whether it be going to an event, what client to focus on, what prospect to focus on, when should I sleep, when should I work out, when do I do something with my family, like where do I get back to phase one? And with that, I've decided to break things down into problems and solutions just so that you can, one, see what thing I'm actually trying to overcome, or at least how I've articulated it currently, and then B, you can see what my current solution is at this point in time. So at least that way, as I'm documenting everything, you can see the best of each part. And that's why I end up coming up with this. I call it my 7-question framework. So I just go through and ask a question, 7 questions of what the problem is, and see which ones I can solve. And the only reason I chose 7 is because I'm Day by Day Media. So I just stick to things that fit day, because I made a decision that if I'm Day by Day Media, I'll stick to things that fit into the day framework. So 7 days in a week. I don't think there's any magic to 7, but it just ends up working out that way because it is what it is. If I was month by month media, it'd be 31 or 30 or 29 for leap year, or 28. But the moral of the story is that I just try to list the questions in the order of what I have to solve them to get the right answer. So my 7-question framework, or the 7-day system, is how I assess what I should be doing next, or at least knowing what the problems are that I'm actually facing. So problem and solution. And with that, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned throughout this process is, even if I'm not right, I just got better and more okay with being wrong and being like, well, okay, I'm wrong. What did I learn from this? What can I do next? What can I do better next time? Even if I'm not 100% always doing the thing that I thought was the best outcome, I'm always like, well, I did it. I'm here. What's next? And just being okay with that every single time. In the outbound updates, I decided to switch to doing more DMs on Instagram. And with that, I discovered the next problem that I had to solve was who to DM for my content services. My solution for that was pick 3 different groups and just hit up a certain amount of them. So I did 100 to 200 for each of them, and then see what the result was. So I was doing podcasts first, then I was doing comedians, and then I was doing loan officers. And the range I was going for was just, hey, they're making content, they have videos coming out, they're doing it consistently. You know, I come into the DM, are you making the clips yourself? Or something along the lines of some of the content they put out, and sent the message to them. Now, as far as the results, I have to go through the numbers of all that to have the data for you to see. But as far as the process of figuring out who to DM, because there's so many different accounts on there, and there's a lot of different options out there to do, I just needed them to, 1, be making content, video content, 2, be putting it out enough, and then 3, have enough people inside that niche for me to find other people in there to contact with, so that I can work on my skill set of finding them, contacting them, and then hitting them up. So this is like the first problem that I'm solving right now: who to hit up in the DMs, who to contact to pitch my services to. And playing around that, you kind of get a feel for each one. Another thing I think about also is how much they actually have to spend for the content too, because that's a big factor. Like if you're just getting started off, I can definitely give you the offer to help you and just get you on the feet. But at the same time, I only got so much time to do stuff too. So there has to be some fiscal alignment at some point to help me out with that process. Content-wise, personal branding. This is super important. This is the gem right here. So one of the problems is, how do you build your personal brand when you are new in your field or growing in your field? And that was the question for me to figure out, like, hey, how do I build my personal brand and bring value at the same time with what I want to be doing? With that, the solution that I got was document the process. Okay, that makes sense. So what does it look like documenting the process? Document the process is 1, recording what I'm doing, 2, recording what I'm doing and then putting it out and explaining what I'm doing. 3, this is what the new one is for anyone who really needs help with. 3, recording what I'm doing, putting it out, and then seeing what problems people are facing that I can at least solve or talk about with my current skill set. So that's why the 7-Day Scoop exists. That's why I decided to do it in this format now, because 1, I can look up what people are actually having problems with, whether it be like a motivational thing. Hey, how do I get started? Well, this is how I get started. So at least you can hear that. I'm actually doing it. You're watching me do it. How do I know how to make a decision? Well, this is what I do to make decisions, and now I can give you value in that. How do I pick who to DM? Well, this is what I do to find people to DM. Now I can give value in that. The whole problem solution process was one of the best ways for me to go about seeing what ways I can bring value inside of what I'm actually doing. So as I go through each step of my own process, I can at least say, hey, this is the problem that I definitely want to solve for you. This is my solution for it. Take what you can with that. So at least I know, hey, when you come watch this episode, there's these points of value in it. And as I build more of my personal brand, I'll be able to see what problems people are having. So I'm doing a lot more market research as well. Search engines, either YouTube or Instagram currently. I'm looking at Answer the Public. I'm looking at Google Trends and seeing what things people are typing and looking for, so I can get a better idea of how to frame my own content so that I can bring value to people that definitely are in the place. So as you watch me evolve and the show evolve, you'll see as I end up changing things to tailor more to certain people that are having a problem that I can definitely solve, or at least talk about how I'm thinking about solving it. On the business update, went to 2 networking events this week. Super awesome. One at Chamber of Commerce. Well, 2 at the Chamber of Commerce, actually. So went up there, met some people, shook hands, got some contacts, exchanged some things. And it was great, meeting people. It's funny because certain ways I consider myself a pretty social person, but in certain settings, I'm less social. So it's like, oh, why am I not as comfortable here? Usually when the crowd's a little older, so like more established business owners, it's a different energy for me to go into instead of people that are around my age. But it still feels good because it's something else you got to learn to. So the next problem that I'm solving with this process is, how do I make sure I network properly with each person? And there's tons of videos out there that I can learn and watch and learn stuff with too. But as far as like the next problem is like, how do I make sure I go in, meet people, bring them value, build a relationship with them, and make sure our next interaction is a great one as well. So at least, we can help out each other in each capacity that we can. And my solution for that right now is to use the 7-question framework and write down all the problems that I'm having currently. So it's like, okay, what do I say to people how do I introduce myself? Let's say my name. Hey, I'm Dom Jackson. Hey, I'm Dom Jackson, Day by Day Media. This is what I do. How do I go about getting the information? Hey, take my email. I have a dot card, so I'm like, hey, take my dot card. But I need to have some physical cards too, because I think that works better with a lot of people within certain age groups. And then it's like, what is my value proposition to a new person? Hey, these are the 3 things I think you could take from me right now that can help you out. Hey, I can give you a free edit for this. So like what things I'm doing to bring value to a person when I first meet them in a business sense. And then how do I even, what level of articulation should I be doing? Should I be like high energy, low energy? Like the energy adaptations of how you even are and how you come off are a huge factor too. So, but the main solution is when I have something that I'm like, oh, this is a new thing that I need to figure out with just what are the 7 problems in the order of importance that I see them right now. And then if I just make it up, I at least have a list of 7 things that I'm like, yeah, I can at least do better on these, try to solve each one of these. And that is my new strategy for everything that I do. What are the problems? List 7 problems that I'm having. Then I can find 7 solutions and just go from 1 to 7. Keeps it real simple. Some other updates that happened this week. The day-by-day vlogs are no longer going to be in long form, just to make sure I can optimize for YouTube in this. I'll be doing everything in shorts instead. So you'll be getting shorts of what the content will look like each day. And that's just because after doing enough of the videos, I saw that I didn't grow too much on the channel, which was fine. That wasn't the intent. But at the same time, there's a lot of other things I want to put more content, more information and content wise. So like this, and then whatever other thing I put out on the channel as well, there'll be more concise, impactful content in the sense that I'll be putting more energy into that actual one piece instead of the volume of the 7 pieces. Talent in both, but just numbers wise, I like that more. Then again, time wise, sitting down and doing the daily vlog might have took 15 to 45 minutes, depending on what it is, finding a spot to go, breaking down the day, explaining what I'm going through, which is great. That's every day, so that adds up a lot. And if I put that same amount of energy into like the 7-day scoop or the daily vlog as well, there's more opportunities for exposure as well. So that's what I'm thinking. And with my other strategy being the Instagram DMs, I need to have, and I will have more content on Instagram as well, because I'm putting more effort there. So having the vlogs in both of those spots, now I can just put the vlog on Instagram on Reels and put it on Shorts on YouTube as well. So my 2 current main spots, I can get the most done. Then figuring out how to adjust for my other strategy too, would be LinkedIn or Facebook or everyone else. But for right now, I got to win the 2 that I'm at. So I'm definitely going to win this. Got in contact with another agency that I met at the networking event this week and sent some work over to me. So working on that. So my process of finding agencies to work with kind of started this week too. That like my first, skin in the game happened. So I'm happy to see that. Film my client from the other live event that I met. So that was cool. Just watching some of the things, the fruits come to fruition. And a lot of this is just compounding over and over again, doing the small things again, get better, doing more volume, doing more effort, putting more time into things, and just really seeing how much time it takes to make something work well and putting the work in. So it's been a great game. It's been a great experience. If you guys do me a favor, if you drop a comment below if you made it this far, because I know you obviously made it this far, drop a comment below of what you liked about this episode of 7-Day Scoop. It would mean the absolute world to me. Drop a comment below. And you're going to have next week's episode right over here. But in the meantime, you can watch last week's episode. It's probably up here too. And as always, take it one step at a time. We'll get there day by day.